She reached to the window, grabbed a fistful of Sylvia's hair, wrapped it around her hand a few times for traction, and dragged her right straight through that window. Hi guys, welcome back to the Quora Zone. Today we're reading from What's the Craziest Thing You've Experienced in the Workplace? Our next post is from Shannon O'Neill. When I was in college, I worked at a Walmart, and we had a little old lady who worked by the fence in our garden department. Because her job was to lift and throw around bags of soil and paper stones, the department was basically nothing but 18 to 23-year-old guys, save for the little old lady and two female cashiers. That little old lady became our default granny, and as most grannies do, she loved all her boys unconditionally. One day, the security team was following a guy who was trying to steal a computer system. They followed him to the garden center where they thought the boys could prevent him from getting away. I was standing just outside the fence with one of my co-workers, and there were three guys behind us. Being young and stupid and strong as bulls, we were kind of itching for what to come. Granny had spunk, and I'd imagine at one time in her life she was quite the firecracker. She took no crap from anyone, and for a woman who was in her 70s, she still thought she was a much younger lady. As the thief ran out of the door to the garden center, he made a beeline straight for the fence, which Granny had blocked. I don't suppose the thief saw a group of hungry boys standing behind her, but thinking he could get away by bowling her over seemed like his best option. He pushed his basket with the computer system directly into her, knocking her down. Dearest readers, I'm not proud of what happened next, but I kinda am. My store had a police detail that was also following the thief along with store security. When the officer and security made it outside, they found 5 angry young men beating the snot out of a thief who tried to take out a beloved granny. As we were pulled off of this unfortunate soul, he tried to plead a case to the officer about how he beat him up. He was having none of it. He saw Granny on the ground and figured out what happened. Moral of the story, do not mess with a granny, especially when she has a group of boys who aren't scared to defend her if necessary. Our next post is from Alison Michael. One co-worker was messing around with her husband and her cheating partner was at the office for lunch. They were sitting on each side of her desk and sharing a plate. Her desk was next to an open window at the back of the office. At the front of the office was the entrance to the parking lot. The mail woman was outside the window delivering the mail, and she called this co-worker's name. We'll say it was Sylvia. Sylvia, the mail woman said. Sylvia was talking to a friend and pointedly ignored the request. So she said it again, a touch more insistently. Sylvia! Well, Sylvia didn't respond, except to put a little smirk on her face as if to say, I'm talking here, how rude. Well, she didn't say it a third time. She reached to the window, grabbed a fistful of Sylvia's hair, wrapped it around her hand a few times for traction, and dragged her right straight through that window. I remember that little smirk. She didn't even have time to wipe off her face. Last I saw of her with the heels of her shoes clearing the window, a 130-pound thud was heard on the other side. The front door opened and in walked her husband. Oh, hey Bob. Sylvia just stepped out of the office. Our next post is from Doctor. I take a job as an Amazon delivery driver after my job of 16 years went out of business at the start of COVID. It is a terrible job at times and not easy for an odd person to do. 180 plus stops and 300 and 350 packages to deliver a day. Delivering in the dark on roads with no lights in the ice and snow, constantly falling when people don't shovel or salt their driveways and steps. No time for bathroom breaks, so the vans are full of bottles of other people's pee. I've been bit by a German Shepherd and chased by people's unleashed dogs. I've been berated by a person for knocking on the wrong apartment door. But I think this is the craziest thing that's happened to me. One day I had a delivery for an apartment I'd never been to. It was on the main street of the town I went to most, so it was unusual. I didn't know this address. The apartments on this street had an outside door right on the street that opened into a foyer, and a staircase that led to other doors. We were always directed to not leave packages outside in places like this because they were easily stolen. So I walk up to the door and open it and start to take a step inside. I immediately realize this layout is totally different from the others on the street. I am in these people's apartments. Now I had one foot in the entranceway for a brief second and quickly stepped right back outside. So I'm scanning the package quickly to drop it inside and leave. At that moment, a young boy, about 10 or so, approaches me from the street outside and says, Hi, this is my house. I said, Could you please bring this inside? He said, Yes. Took the box and went in, and that was that. I was off the next day. My boss left me a voicemail that said, Call me. This had never happened before, so I immediately called. My boss tells me they received a complaint about me, but he added, I know this doesn't sound like you at all, so I need to know what happened. The boy's mother filed a complaint with Amazon saying that I entered their house without permission and then engage in a conversation with their young side inside the house, and that the mother had to yell at me to leave. In reality, I never saw a mother. No one yelled at me. I didn't engage the boy. He walked up and talked to me. I partially been in the entranceway for about a second. I don't know why this woman made up that story. I had to write a statement and sign it, and it had to be reviewed so I could keep my job. I never ended up getting punished though. I was just pretty mad because here I was just trying to make sure their packages were somewhere safe so it wouldn't get stolen, and this is how I was rewarded? Stolen packages get you negative feedback from customers even though it has nothing to do with the driver. Maybe the lady thought Amazon would offer them money or something. Our next post is from a $2 pan. Years ago, I used to work in a place that didn't allow any cell phones. We were supposed to leave our phones in cars or lockers. Every time we got out of the building, we'd have to go through a security check. We weren't allowed to exit with any electronics without a written release form from our management. Every once in a while, someone would rush in with their phone, having forgotten that they had it in them. So they had to get a signed form from management in order to get their phone out of the building. In time, management got fed up with signing these forms. They came up with a genius idea. Anyone who brought their phone in would get it confiscated for 24 hours. Brilliant, right? No. Everyone's shocked. The idea didn't work. People still brought their phones in by accident. I confess I did this a couple of times too. One day on my way home from work, my car broke down the highway. Luckily, I had my phone on me, so I was able to get help. Then I thought, what if I had my phone confiscated at work? What if it had been in an accident? Naturally, the next day I told the manager that it would suck if anyone whose phone got confiscated got in an accident and didn't have a phone because it had been confiscated and they couldn't get help in time. I might have added that one might even consider suing if they couldn't get help in time. Keep in mind, this wasn't a government facility or anything crazy. It was a repair centre. When I got laid off, they still had this policy in place. Hopefully by now it's been cancelled. But who knows? Alright guys, that is all from the Quora Zone today. I hope you guys enjoyed these stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. If you have your own personal crazy work stories that you would like to be shared, you can put it in my email or even just comment it and I can share it on my channel.